G'day, it's Peter here from Rainbow Springs Fly Fishing with another pro tip for you. This one talks about and demonstrates that the wind is actually your friend. Most folks, when they're new to fly fishing, when it gets windy, they go home. And I'd like to just demonstrate how the wind you can manage your cast with windy conditions, and generally speaking you catch more fish when it's windy, particularly around lake edges and things and in boats, than when it's dead calm. So here's the trick, and it's about adjusting angles. The traditional cast has a casting stroke that's slightly lower at the front and slightly elevated at the back, usually because there's trees and things behind you. But let's just talk about the wind for a minute. Firstly, you're going to generally catch more fish when you're fishing into the wind. Now, why is that? Well, firstly, you don't have to cast very far, but all the food is, particularly in the lakes, is brought to your feet. It stirs up the mud, the yabbies are dislodged from their homes, food moves around, and the fish move into that mud line, just in and out of that mud line, because they know where the food is. The opposite, if the wind is behind you in the lake, it tends to mean that there will be small amounts of food pushed into the water from behind you, but generally speaking the food will move away from you that way and your fly is being brought back this way, and some educated fish think that's a bit sus. So how do we deal with the wind? It's like a low golf shot. If the wind is in my face, I elevate my casting angle like so. So if the wind is in my face, it's high and lazy because the wind is going to take it. So that can be high and lazy here because the wind will push it back. And then I come forward and I close my thumb down late in the cast and drive a low golf shot, which means the line will go out nice and straight. So here it is, high and lazy, low and hard. This is exaggerated. Bang. High and lazy, low and hard. And that will drive that low shot into the wind, straighten the line out as you bring your rod tip down at the end of your cast. Now, if the wind is behind me, I completely change that angle where the environment will allow me to do it. If I'm on the bank of a lake, if I'm in a boat. And so instead of the traditional casting arc being like so, we change it like so. So it actually ends up low here and high here. Remember, the wind is now behind me. It's pushing my line that way. So it's low at the back, high at the front. Low and hard, high and lazy. Low and hard, high and lazy. Low and hard, high and lazy. Because that wind that's behind you, you want to drive it into the wind. And when you come forward, you want to be high and lazy at the front because the wind is going to take it all for you and lay it out nice and straight. But ultimately, if you can learn to fish into the wind, I think you're going to catch more fish. Certainly that's been my experience. So it's where the wind is coming at you. High and lazy, low and tight. High and lazy, low and tight. High and lazy, low and tight. And fish all of those mud lines where all of the yabbies and everything are being disturbed from the little muddy waves. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have much, much more success. So this is Peter from Rainbow Springs Fly Fishing. Hope you've enjoyed the tip. Come and visit us sometimes at rainbowsprings.com.au.